Good morning. It's Wednesday, the 20th, and phase 2 of the Hardeman versus Monsanto trial begins today. That's right, the verdict came in yesterday. The 6-member jury found in favor of Mr. Hardeman, found that Roundup caused his cancer. That was huge. That was a big blow to Bayer and Monsanto. Bayer's shares dropped 12% this morning in early trading on this, and then we're only halfway through the trial. So opening statements begin this morning in about a half an hour. I'm recording this just now, just about a half an hour before. Opening statements in phase 2. I spoke with Amy Wagstaff this morning as she was preparing her opening statements and just asked her how she felt about this. She had a comment. She said that she was very excited, of course, to show the world the rest of the evidence. This is what will be happening in phase 2. First phase was only about causation. Second phase is about the evidence and the allegations of Monsanto's wrongdoing, their conduct in trying to suppress scientific evidence and silence critics, journalists like myself, and other people who've been trying to raise the alarm bells. There's a lot of evidence in emails and internal Monsanto documents about how they've tried to ghostwrite scientific papers, how they've tried to manipulate regulators. So a lot of that will be coming out in this second phase. Amy said, Roundup has been Monsanto's billion-dollar baby for decades, and the evidence demonstrates Monsanto was far more interested in protecting its bottom line of Roundup's continued sales than making sure the product was safe. In the meantime, people like Mr. Hardeman got cancer and are dying. Those are the words of lead counsel Amy Wagstaff this morning, just before she goes on with her opening statements. Now, the judge has been pretty strict with the lawyers, and he intends to continue to be very strict about what evidence will and will not be allowed in phase 2. For those of you who follow this pretty closely, you know that there have been several sort of semi-scandalous things come out about Monsanto's conduct in recent years. Their efforts to try to discredit the International Agency for Research on Cancer, their efforts to discredit those scientists, their efforts to discredit a French scientist, Eric Seralini. None of that evidence will be allowed to be admitted because it's what the judge calls post-conduct. Or post-use conduct. Hardeman stopped using Roundup in 2012, the plaintiff in this case. So the judge has said that essentially anything that Monsanto did after 2012 really should not be considered as evidence in this case. And that's a tricky thing for plaintiffs because, some of the emails and evidence that has come out since 2012 is really powerful stuff that illustrates, what Monsanto has been doing for a long time. So they're going to try to walk that line. Plaintiffs only have about 7.5 hours left on their time clock to present their case. Monsanto has more than 18 hours left on its time clock. So, the judge is considering giving a little more time to plaintiffs, but he may not. So they may just have to present their evidence in a quick and dirty fashion, and we shall see what happens. Opening statements begin shortly. So again, stay tuned. You can get more documents and follow my blog at US Right to Know, www.usrtk.org. All right.